My brothers and sisters, what is going on? This is still Sermon in the House, Sunday night with another video. I am recording this just as the divisional round of the playoffs just ended, so I just figured I'd get this out here now, as been on my mind for over the last week or so, and I finally carved out some time to do it. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. The link is posted in the description box below. Going to be talking about some prospects here and for the Pittsburgh Pirates, as spring training is coming up closer than we think. Pitchers and catchers reporting about a month from now, so a little exciting to be getting back to baseball. So I'm going to take a look at this situation for the Pirates as kind of like, when are these guys going to get their chances and when are these guys going to get called up? Not as, oh, they're never going to get called up and this and that. I want to just, give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. And there are 4 Pirates prospects in particular that are highly being covered and they're highly being scouted by Ben Cherington. And the first one that I want to talk about is someone who already made his debut in the majors last year, but it was really a very small sample size, and that's Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz made his debut in September of last year against the Cincinnati Reds, if I'm not mistaken, and he is 0-2. His ERA is a little bit high, but again, it's a very small sample size. The guy's a kid. He needs to see more time, but he is still worth mentioning in here. From what I've heard, he has very much improved his arm strength. He has very much improved his arsenal with his pitches. And the Pirates are actually hopeful that when he gets more of his, his feet wet more in the majors, that he can even make his way into the starting rotation. But for right now, I see this guy being like a long relief pitcher. He can probably go a couple innings when he's called up from the bullpen. Maybe even a good setup man to David Bednar if he still stays here in the future. But yeah, overall, this guy brings a lot to the table as far as pitching goes, because we need as much pitching help as possible. That's the number one thing that this team needs, is pitching, because the defense in the infield is improving. Defense in the outfield is still a little scrappy, but it needs improvement as well. This team needs pitching ASAP, and I think Luis Ortiz, you develop him more and you experiment to see where he's going to be with this team in the future. I think he's going to be a really good prospect for us. His fastball, really good. He's got really good stuff with his fastball. He's throwing in the upper 90s, like that 96, 99 range. He's starting to throw in more consistently. I think he even hit 100 a couple of times. So he definitely has a cannon for an arm when it comes to fastballs. And then his secondary pitches are obviously something that he needs to work on as well. But yeah, Luis Ortiz, definitely someone to look out for as far as the prospects go. Next guy is Temarr Johnson, and he was our 4th overall pick in the draft. And honestly, the Pirates don't really have a ton of power in the lineup, but I think as far as the bats go and as far as the power goes altogether, I think Temarr Johnson may be the best bat for that. Putting him in the middle of the infield, we're probably going to see him right there playing alongside with O'Neal Cruz, maybe share some time with him, because we know Brian Hayes is going to be at third base, and then second base is kind of up in the air. I keep hearing Nick Gonzalez, if he finally gets called up, that is, and same thing with Travis Swaggerty. But overall, I see Temarr Johnson being a middle of the infield kind of guy, maybe 2 to 3 more years with him, because again, we know that the farm in the baseball is, a longer process than all other sports. But, Temarr Johnson definitely has been ranked high in the Pirates farm system and in the entire MLB. And then 2, I'm going to bundle up in 1. The last 2 I'm going to bundle up in 1. and I think you know where I know I'm going with this. It's Henry Davis and Endy Rodriguez. They both have great catching experience, and their catcher is both these guys' natural position. As for Henry Davis, he was our first pick in 2021, and he has spent a lot of time down in the minors. A little bit of an injury set him back, but it's nothing to be too concerned about. He's been battling out. The guy can hit. The guy can field. He's a really good defensive player. He's played outfield a couple of times, and he can play first base as well. So, Henry Davis, there's a lot of potential with him. I see him platooning the catching spot with Endy Rodriguez, being a catcher battle, because it does sound like a good problem to have when you have two really good defensive catchers behind the plate, but it's something that, you know, that we're going to have to figure out. Me personally, I think if Henry Davis is going to be the catcher, you put Endy Rodriguez at first base, potentially even the outfield a little bit. He's played outfield as well. And then Endy Rodriguez behind the plate, you put Henry Davis in the outfield. Personally, I'd like to see Endy Rodriguez be behind home plate. I think that he's a little bit of a better catcher than Henry Davis is. And then Henry Davis, you put him in the outfield to patch up that defensive work that this outfield needs. So a lot of really good problems to have as far as catching goes. We got two really good ones down in the minors and that are developing in the farm and that are not too long away from being called up. I think Henry Davis is a lot more versatile than Endy Rodriguez is because, like I said, the guy can hit. He's got great defensive metrics. The guy can play multiple positions. He's been experimented a lot down in the minors. Endy Rodriguez, I think he needs to be the primary catcher. And, of course, you know, we got guys like, much to my dismay, it's Carlos Santana that we got in the offseason. We all know that he's not going to be the long-term answer. He's just, you know, one of them placeholders that we like to say over here in Pittsburgh, but we'll just see how it goes. But, yeah, those are the four prospects, in my opinion, to be hopeful for with the Pirates. And you want to know what all four of those prospects have in common? They are all top 100 prospects in baseball. Top 100 prospects in the entire league. So, definitely, this is why I get on Ben Cherington, and this is why I keep saying this about him. I'm not doubting the talent that's in the farm, because we all know that the talent is there. The talent is there developing. The talent is there processing. We know it's there. My question is, when are they going to get called up? How long are they going to be there? Because past mistakes have been made with keeping players down too long in the farm or calling them up too early. The main example was Pedro Alvarez back in the day, where Neil Huntington admitted to rushing him in the minors. And then, of course, we got, you know, players that spent too much time in the farm like Adam Frazier did back in the day. So that's my main concern right there. How long are they going to be in the farm? These are top 100 prospects. You better keep them in there for the right amount of time that they needed, because, you know, last year we kind of saw it with O'Neal Cruz a little bit. We called him up. He struggled a little bit with the batting average, but there's not a doubt in my mind that O'Neal Cruz, if he gets sent back down, he's going to improve with, you know, chasing the off-speed pitches and, you know, not looking, you know, not overpowering on his swing a little bit, because we know that O'Neal Cruz has got a great set of wheels. The guy's a freak in nature. He's 6'7", as a shortstop, which is unheard of. We know the guy's ultra talented. So that's my thing there. When are these guys going to get called up, and are they going to see playing time potentially in 2023, if not next year? And we'll go from there. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the night. May God be with you all.